Alright, what's going down YouTube? It's your boy AB and we back with another exclusive video for you today. Today we are talking about the one, the only, Mulan, darling. Mulan. Mulan 2020. Like, come on. First of all, every review I watched online, on YouTube, said that the movie was terrible. Trash. Not worth seeing. It looks terrible. Like, you know, it just didn't have anything that they wanted to have in it. But the thing is, it's a new movie. It's a brand new 2020 movie. Yes, it is Mulan. Yes, it's based off of a cartoon, Disney cartoon that was made whenever it was made. But bruh, you can't come at this brand new movie and be so disappointed in it and tell people that it's bad just because it's not meeting your expectations. It didn't have your cartoon movies in it, your talking animals and stuff like that. What are you saying? Did you not watch the movie? Did you not watch this movie at all? This movie was great. Whoever made this movie was like, I'm gonna take Mulan and I'm gonna take it to the next level. Okay, Mulan is gonna be an action film. It's gonna be the next big Chinese action movie. Like, if you're watching Mulan 2020 and you don't get any type of feeling that you got from the original at all, then you should probably, you know, not watch it. I don't know. Like, you need to grow up. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Every review I saw online was like 30 to 40-year-old men, you feel me, reviewing an old-ass movie that they saw in their childhood to a new-ass movie that is coming out right now. Like, you can't compare, for one, a cartoon to a real live-action movie. Even though they are the same thing and it is a remake, it's a completely different movie. Whoever wrote this live-action script was a genius. Because, yeah, Mulan did have talking animals. Yeah, she did, like, the animals were characters. Like, it was, like, really funny. It had music in it. It was a musical. I think we're pretty much over that, right? You know, times like these, we could use a little more music, a little more laughter in our life. But come on. Alright, so Mulan 2020 review. First of all, let me say, if you don't have Disney Plus, then you better get you a jailbroke Fire Stick so you can watch Mulan 2020. It was amazing. I thought it was pretty epic for it to be a remake of a cartoon, bringing it to life in 2020 as a new aged, you know, movie, real life action movie. I thought it was great. The movie dropped on Disney Plus, and that's pretty much the only place you can watch it. If you got Disney Plus or if you got you a jailbroken Fire Stick, you can watch it. But if you don't, then I don't think it's going to come out in the movies anytime soon or at all. So Disney Plus is probably your only chance of getting it. Or get you a Fire Stick is probably your only chance of watching it. Whoever decided to remake this movie really looked at Mulan, the cartoon, and said, I can make this into an action film. Like, when you think about it, all the like Chinese old action films, like, that's where he got the inspiration from for this movie. Like, this movie looks like and feels like one of those old Jet Li, Bruce Lee movies, right? Like, but it's still a Disney movie. It's still PG-13. It's not gonna have all that extra gory and extra stuff that you would find in one of these fighting movies. But it's along the lines of greatness in the fighting films, in the fighting flicks. Like, the action in this movie was really good. The fighting was really good. Mulan held her own. Like, it was a great, I really love the action and the fighting in this movie. So yeah, it's from the jump, it's pretty much the same, it's the same flick, it's the same cartoon, it has the same premise, it has the same, you know, message to it. It's, you know, the pressure is real. It's even realer now because it's a real ass movie. But the pressure is on for Mulan, you know, to bring honor to her family and not, you know, bring dishonor and shame to her family. So watching this movie, even though this movie did come out on Disney Plus, I still felt like I was in a movie theater. I mean, granted I have a 50-inch, that's not big, but how this movie is filmed, how this movie looks, it looks spectacular. It looks really good, very appealing to the eye. your eyes are glued the whole time. Even though it's not the same movie, you're not getting what you expected and what you got out of the cartoon. This movie is aesthetically pleasing, and the actors are great. Everything's great in this movie. Like, what you need to do is get out of what you want it to be and think about what it is now. This is a great movie. It's not a musical. I wanted to hear the music, okay? I can't even lie. I was very disappointed that it wasn't a musical. But what they did with the music, like, they put it in the background. So it's not a full-fledged musical piece number, but it's just in the background score as, she's doing something, amazing or whatever. So, I mean, it's not a musical, but you still get to hear some of the songs, that you love from the cartoon, just not in the musical piece. So when the movie starts, Mulan's like, she's like 10. She's like 10 years old, and they're talking about like her getting married off and going to the matchmaker and shit. Bruh, she's literally 10. Like, she already has all this pressure on her because her dad's telling her, she can't, do things that she wants to do because she's a woman. But now it's just like, I'm 10 years old and I got all these pressures of wanting to bring honor to our family and marry a nice man, and boy. Like, I just can't believe they were talking about that as she was 10 years old. And but that's how like, in the like Chinese culture or whatever, the women, they had to be women back then. They had to be women and they couldn't do more. Just like anywhere else, honestly. Come on. So Mulan City was like, it was interesting. It was like, it wasn't like a city or a town that you would think. It was more so if you saw like Shaolin Hustle or something, how like that apartment complex was kind of like a community. It was like a town. It was like a little, a little something. So that's how this city is worked out. Like, it's like built up like a big ass apartment building, and it has a center courtyard where everybody congregates. But it just seems, like an apartment complex, a ghetto, really, in wherever they are, China. It kept theme of, like this age in this time in China, So it has like a castle-y feel to it. But when you walk inside, it's more like I'm not even gonna say a slums, because they didn't look like they were like, bad off or whatever. They didn't seem like they're, poor, but it was still like a big community like type deal. It wasn't more so a town, it was more so just like an apartment complex. I mean, that was interesting. Another thing was grandma. Who remembers the grandma in Mulan? She was a huge part of Mulan's life, right? Well, chop the grandma up because she ain't in the movie, okay? Mulan got a sister. And Mulan's sister is not as relevant as grandma's character was in the cartoon, but Mulan still has that extra person to, feel for and want to bring honor to. So we did switch it up a little bit with grandma and the sister, but I like the sister. She was okay. I thought she was cute, even though the grandma was cuter in the cartoon, but the cartoon is just that, a cartoon. So I don't mind the new characters. There's also like a new antagonist and like a new love interest. Like her little group in her training camp, they were there, but they weren't the same people. If you get me, like they had the same type, premise to the movie as they did in the cartoon, but they weren't, as animated, as funny, as quirky. They were just, regular people. Like Mulan was a regular person trying to become a warrior and save the freaking country, So I thought that was interesting. The new antagonist is really cool. I love her because she was actually in the cartoon, but she was an animal. She was a bird. She was the bird. Bori Khan's bird is an actual character, and she's a badass, okay? I love her, and she plays a pivotal role in the movie. Super important. If you don't get nothing out of this movie, think about how this character drove the storyline, because she did. The movie's called Mulan, but you might as well call it Mulan and motherfucking Zhao Lang, because that bitch was driving the story. She was carrying Mulan on her back, literally. And you'll notice at the end what I mean. She was a good character. Like, I really liked it. Speaking of new characters, let's talk about old characters. Let's talk about our cartoon friends, our animal friends. So, the cricket was a character. He had a, little role, the cricket, cartoon animated character. Mushu, he was a dragon. He was definitely animated, talked, had a role. He did play a big role in the cartoon. The horse was not a talking character in the cartoon, but the horse was a character who also helped Mulan throughout her journey, obviously being a horse and just whatever else cartoon characters do. You feel me? Because that's the bird. Boricom's bird did play a nice little role in the cartoon also, like being an animated character, and in the movie was brought to life. Unfortunately, they didn't bring to life Mushu. Actually, they did bring to life Mushu, but Mushu is not Mushu. Mushu is actually a woman, or a her. And I won't tell you what Mushu is, because if you want to watch the movie, but Mushu is in the movie. It's just not the Mushu you remember. Mushu made it, okay? It's just not Mushu. It's an evolved character, okay? It's not the same person. There's a bunch of new scenes. There are so many new scenes that you're gonna be like, yes, because they were in the cartoons. Like, they talked about these scenes in the cartoons, and they brought it to life in the real movie. I feel like the cartoon was maybe an hour and a half. This is like a 2-hour movie. So they basically added scenes that drove the story of Boricom, The scenes of Mulan, prospering and growing throughout her journey are inevitable. But the scenes that are new are about Boricom and his antagonist friend Bird, who's a character now. Like, their scenes are really good because, like I said, as far as driving the story, they're the main antagonist, so that's what they do. But as far as them having their own background story, it was good. It was great, and that's what they did. They gave them a background. They gave them a presence. They gave them a premise. Just not being, someone who roams the state and destroys towns, but someone who literally has a vendetta, who has a scorned heart and wants to get revenge. Boricom's character just got real, okay? Come on, this movie was great. The fighting in this movie was really good. Like I said, I brought up the old Chinese, Japanese movies like Bruce Lee, Jet Li. This is it. This is it. They wanted to bring that aspect of a fighting movie into a Disney movie. This is still a Disney movie, PG-13. They're not gonna do the same type of action fighting that you expect, but they still have I'm just gonna say they still have the budget and the ability to make a great fighting film, and that's what they did. It's Mulan. Mulan wasn't a huge action film. It was a cartoon. It was more of a funny, coming of age type of thing. But they really made this live action into a real life fighting film, and they have some really good action in this movie, with the combat, hand-to-hand combat, with the sword fighting, the spears, they got the arrows. They got every weapon that they have, in the time period, and they're using them all to their advantages. It's a really good thing. You won't be disappointed with the fighting, with the action. With nothing's gonna bore you. From the beginning, you're gonna be captivated by Mulan, and you're gonna want to watch it because of her story. But then you're gonna see these other characters that you weren't expecting and what they're doing, and it's gonna be whoa, this movie is great. You're still gonna have that same emotion. You're still gonna get that same, you know, feeling like, oh, Mulan, you know, you're rooting for her, okay? You're still gonna be rooting for her and rooting for these other characters because they change your mind. They make you feel some type of way. And that's what I feel like they're going for. Being a cartoon, you're gonna feel some type of way because they can do more in the cartoon. But being a real live action movie, I feel like they have to do things certain ways so you could feel the characters that they brought to life. Great stuff. Like I said, whoever saw this cartoon said this has great potential to be an action flick. And they turned it into an action movie. Still Mulan though, but an action Mulan. Okay, so Mulan, basically, when I say like, oh, the fighting and the action and stuff, Mulan and like being, you know, like similar to, you know, Jet Li and the old Chinese, Japanese fighting films. I say that because Mulan has a chi. She has a chi, which let her, you know, gives her more abilities and more fighting, you know, abilities and more strength and stuff because her chi is strong. It's like, you know, Dragon Ball Z, the energy that you see exuding from their body when they're powering up, that's what she has. So it's just not exuding from her body, but it's more of a focus, you know? So when her chi comes on and she needs it, she focuses, you know? She's like, and it slows down time and the screen gets like, and you know, darker and like blurry or whatever, and it like captivates you. I really love her chi because that's what drives her the story also. That's the biggest part of the story is the fact that she's a woman who's not supposed to have chi. Okay? Because if you're a woman with chi, you're a witch. For some reason you can't be a warrior, you can't fight if you got chi as a woman because you a witch. You ain't supposed to have that. I don't even know. But that was really dope. Her chi, it doesn't come out as much as you would like it to come out. I feel like they're definitely waiting for part 2 to bring out more of her chi. I feel like her father definitely taught her how to use her chi, and when she went to the training camp, she definitely learned more how to handle her chi and just, you know, more. She learned more control. I mean, I can't tell you like the training scene was the same as the cartoon. Like nothing was the same, okay? Because it's not the same movie. The only thing that was the same was the training camp. They did somewhat different things in the training camp, but they also did the same things also. But it wasn't like, you know, frame from the movie. It was new stuff. It was new characters. It wasn't, you know, what's his name? Li Shang, like her love interest, was not Li Shang. He wasn't like a trainer in the battalion. Like he wasn't like somebody of importance when she came into the camp. He was just a regular guy, and his name was Chin Hong Hu. So the person who she confides in the training camp was still there, okay, just under a different name. The group of fellows who were there also, you know, being rambunctious, was there, but they might have been without one. Like, I don't know. One of the guys' name was Cricket, and I'm thinking that they brought that name Cricket because of her cartoon Cricket. But I mean, when I seen Cricket, I seen him as the big, you know, the big dude in the cartoon. Like I didn't see him as a new character just because I've seen the group of people and they're still there, but they weren't, you know, as prominent as they were in the cartoon. One of them got sent home, okay, and one of them, I think the other two were still there, but one of them was, you know, more prominent character than the other. So, I mean, I still liked the fact that they had that group of people that she can talk to, and I mean, they needed her to have somebody to talk to in the camp. Like, she was going through it in there, you feel me? Like, by herself, being a woman, hiding, you know? Which is insane. How do you not know that she's a woman? What the heck? How do you not know that Mulan is a woman? She's freaking beautiful for one. Like she has a face of a girl. She's trying to make her voice deep And all she did was put her hair up in a ponytail and put her dad's armor on. Bruh, how can you not tell that that's a woman? Another thing, she was not the only, or her dad was not the only one asked to come, you know, who was given a scroll to come to battle. Like, there was at least 10 other people in her city who got grabbed to come to battle. So why didn't those people see Mulan at the training camp? Why are these people acting like they do not see her? She's a freaking woman. All she did was put her hair up and she looks dirty. Like, why? That's so stupid. So dumb. And they still didn't accept her when they found out she was a woman. She still needed a man to back her up so they can accept her. Like, it don't even make sense. Like, come on. She just did all this and you still don't even feel like she can do whatever because she's a woman? What? Another thing is, I guess people really like the fact that when she went off into the war, like when she left her family, like they really loved her little scene, you know, going to get the armor, putting the armor on and cutting her hair. None of that. We ain't doing none of that, you know, extra cutting hair and no, we don't need all them extra scenes. So we just gonna go to the armor case, and we just gonna take the armor, and we just gonna take the sword, and we just gonna be on our way. Like, I mean, that's it. You feel me? People really were upset about that scene, like not being as deep and relatable as it was in the cartoon. You're looking at one aspect of the movie. Yeah, you got that from that scene, but you're gonna get the same feeling from another part of the movie if you're not closed-minded already from the fact that it's not a cartoon. Relax, it's a new movie. It's a good new movie too at that. So even though this is a remake and it's set in a time frame, I felt like, you know, I got the feeling of a modern, you know, aspect of it, and I feel like it's because of how it's filmed and, you know, the characters, and it just gives it a modern feel to Mulan, even though it's set in, you know, a dynasty time frame. I feel like, you know, they honestly could have did better with the set. I feel like the set looks good, but I feel like the set looks too new. You know, like it looks really good. Like, I feel like it needed a little more grunge, you feel me? It needed to be a little more nasty, a little more rough. I mean, they did what they did. Like I said, like the Emperor's Palace. I mean, it's the Emperor's Palace. I guess it could look brand new, but like even like her city and like the training camp, like everything just looks really new and looks really good and just like really fresh. And I needed a little more grunge. Like, the dirtiest thing in the movie was Mulan's face the whole freaking time. Like, she got freaking mud on her face the whole time and they can't even tell she's a freaking woman. Come on, man. Come on, man. I didn't even know that it was Jet Li until I had to look it up on Google. Like, I didn't even know that Jet Li was in this movie. Like, he don't even, I mean, he does look like Jet Li, but he had a costume on. He had all this, you know, he looks nothing like Jet Li. And he's in the movie. Like, what? Like, I didn't even know until the second time watching it. I'm like, damn, that is Jet Li. As far as this movie being like the old movie, I'm gonna say that it is like the old movie. It's like the cartoon, but it's more serious. And I feel like they made it more serious and more of an action movie because it's real. It's a live action movie. Like, if you think about it, Mulan is one of the Disney cartoons that's actually closer to real than the cartoon because they have more people in it and more real, you know, human characters driving the story. They did still have their animal characters who did talk and do whatever they did. We're gonna make this into a real life, you know, real life situation. Like, it's still real life situation. Like, it's the same thing, but they just made it more of a serious, you know, adaptation of it. It's just it's a real movie. All I'm saying is, I feel like you can't judge the cartoon to this movie. The only thing you can compare and contrast is the name Mulan and basically the Mulan character. because everybody else in the movie is different. Like even Mulan is different. It's not the same movie. It's a new movie. You have to want to adjust to what's happening in this movie, because if you're thinking that if you're expecting the music and the cartoons and the animals, that's gonna cloud your judgment of how good this movie actually is. Like, it's a great film. So all in all, I guess I'm just gonna give this film a thumbs up. I feel like it's at least an 8.5, you know, because, you know, at least a B+. It's good. Like, it's still a great movie. And you know what it also is? A Disney movie. Rated PG-13 for kids. So if you're giving it a bad review, you're old and you're hung up and you don't really like movies. Because it's the fact that this is a movie and not that it's Mulan. It's a movie that's also named Mulan. It's not a cartoon. Okay? It's a movie, live action, real movie that's also for kids. It's a Disney movie. So the things that they do is not gonna be like a legit rated R thing. Like, you know, it's not gonna be the same as a regular action movie. Like, come on. You don't like movies. You're not a movie buff. If you're doing a movie review and you're saying that this is a bad movie, you're not a real movie head, alright? You don't really like movies. You just like, you in it for the clout or something. You ain't a real Disney fan, because this was great. You ain't had the Disney's on cassettes, you feel me? I watched Mulan over and over. I had it on cassette. I already know what it's like, you feel me? And seeing this new adaptation of it, I thought it was great, because they brought it to life. They gave it depth, okay? They gave it energy, action, fighting, okay? Everything you wanted to, everything you could ask for in a Chinese, you know, movie, a Chinese-Japanese movie or whatever. A fighting movie. So, spoiler alert. I don't think I spoiled anything in this movie, to be honest. Make sure you comment below any comments you have. Like, if you've seen the movie, let me know how you like the movie. Comment below what you think, you know, the movie's gonna be like or whatever. Just write some comments below, because I need to know how y'all feel about this movie, okay? Put them comments down there. Drop a like on this video, because I just did my thing. Like, I can't believe people are saying that they didn't like this movie and they're giving it a thumbs down and all this, when I'm disappointed and it's bad. No, this is a really good movie. Like, I would not suggest you not see this movie. I feel like if you've seen Mulan as the cartoon, you should see Mulan as a real movie. So you can have that, you know, realization that this is a completely new movie. This is not the same movie, okay? And it's not a cartoon. But you know what it is? Still a Disney movie. Still a kids movie. Still PG-13. So you can't be, you know, disappointed about whatever you expected not being there. So my little spoiler alert. So y'all know at the shower scene when Mulan finally takes a shower in the training camp after being there for fucking weeks. She takes a shower and Lee comes, you know, to the showers and, you know, gets all up in her business and starts talking to her, and she's all embarrassed, like, oh, let me hide my boobs, cause I'm in the bath, okay? She's like, here. And he's like, oh, what's up? You know, water. That's when, you know, he brings down his guard. That's when he takes off his armor that he's been putting into the training. And let's get down to business. You know, he brings all that down. He gets deep. And he lets Mulan know, like, you know, I was, you know, about to get married or whatever. And, or what is it? He's about to meet the matchmaker, and the matchmaker's gonna set him up, and Mulan's like, oh yeah, I was matched, but it didn't work out. He's like, well yeah, man, all this, and what if she doesn't like me? And she, you know, Mulan, she's like, oh, I do. I mean, she will. I mean, well, you're great. Come on, like, so that scene didn't happen as, you know, the same way, obviously, because it's not the same movie. So the love interest did tell her what he told her in the cartoon, just at a different place in the movie. So at that shower scene, okay, it had the same premise, but it was a different conversation. And Mulan gets mad, or she didn't storm off, he stormed off. It was weird. I don't know. I don't even think that's a spoiler, honestly. Like, it still happened in the cartoon, y'all know it's coming, but I just thought that was interesting that they separated that part into two parts. And I feel like they did it because the character who, her love interest who talks about it, is not the same character as it was in the cartoon. He didn't have the same, you know, reputation, the same premise, the same, you know, stature as the cartoon character, but he still has that love interest role. So he's gonna, you know, it came out, you know, different. It was different, but it still happened. But all in all, I'm gonna say it was a good movie. You should definitely watch this movie. It's not the same movie, but it's gonna, you know, take you to a new, you know, a new mindset of what Mulan could be. And I'm excited to see Mulan 2. Mulan was one of the greats, okay? Mulan was one of the great Disney movies. One of the only Disney movies, you know, to come out with more than just one movie. Like, Mulan 2. How many people seen Mulan 2? Y'all probably didn't even know it was a Mulan 2. But if you did, drop a comment below and let me know that you seen Mulan 2. Because Mulan 2 was great. Alright? Like, it was a damn good movie. Disney made 2 parts of it. So, that's how you know it was good. Like, how many other Disney movies got 2 parts? Like, a few of them did, but more so he made, you know, Disney was like, we making more movies. Thanks for watching this review. I feel like I didn't even, you know, I was just spewing out the mouth. I barely even, I did look at this, but I feel like I was just spewing out the mouth, you feel me? I was just trying to say whatever came to my mind, like I don't even know. This was a good movie, that's all I'm gonna say. Again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Drop a comment, let me know what you thought of the movie, let me know how you felt about the review that I just did. I'm gonna try to post this like right now so I can get it out there, but yeah man, thanks for watching. Make sure you go see Mulan 2020, not in theaters but on Disney Plus or Fire Stick exclusive. Like, if you ain't watching this movie, you need to watch this movie because it's good. Alright, thanks for watching guys, thanks for hanging out with your boy Ace, and I'll see you next time at our next hangout.